My friend, you're checking your phone like you're waiting on a job interview. You texted her, 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes, 45 minutes, no reply. But the version of you that finishes this video, he doesn't chase silence, he doesn't spiral, he sees the delay and knows exactly what it means, because one of these 7 reasons will expose the game she's been playing this whole time. If she used to reply fast, but now takes hours, it's not random, it's not just how she is. It's a message, and you've been decoding it all wrong. Most men think, maybe she's busy, maybe I said something, maybe I need to prove I'm still interested. But here's the truth. When a girl delays her reply, it's rarely about time. It's about power. And if you miss number 5, you'll keep blaming yourself, when really, she's just mirroring you. 1. The power game. She's not just taking her time, she's taking control. You send the message and wait. 5 minutes, 15, nothing. Then you see the 3 dots. They disappear. Now your head spins. Did I say something wrong? Should I follow up? What if she lost interest? My friend, this isn't just poor timing. It's a test. You're being measured not by what you say, but how you react when things go silent. See, when a woman starts pulling away slowly, she's watching one thing: your stability. Will you stay calm, or will you overcompensate? In the modern dating world, attention is currency, and withholding it is power. Some women delay replies not because they're busy, but because they know. The longer you wait, the more emotionally invested you become. Most men panic. They reply quicker, they double text, they send, or "you okay?" or even worse. They confess feelings just to feel seen. And the moment you do that, the dynamic shifts. You're now chasing. But a high-value man? He knows time isn't his enemy. Neediness is. You don't reward distance with attention. You don't rush to prove your worth. You match her delay with grounded presence. The moment you stop reacting to her pace, she starts reacting to your silence. 2. The silent cutoff. It's not a delay. It's a disappearing act in slow motion. You notice it. Fewer replies, less warmth. The energy shifts, but the door isn't closed yet. So you stay, you wait, you hope she snaps back. But here's the truth most men don't want to face. She's not replying slower because she's unsure. She's replying slower because she's done. My friend, women rarely ghost all at once. They emotionally log out before they physically disappear. That delay you feel, that's her way of detaching without confrontation. See, most girls won't say, "I'm not into this anymore," because that takes emotional maturity. Instead, they let the silence do it for them. She'll keep you around just enough to avoid being the villain. But the energy, the effort, the interest, it's gone. And the longer you hold on, the harder it hits when she finally vanishes or shows up with someone else. Most men react by trying harder. What's wrong? Is everything okay? Did I do something? And that's exactly what she expects and silently resents. Because now, you're making her feel bad for drifting. What should you do instead? You recognize the energy shift early. You withdraw before she fades completely. A man with standards doesn't beg for clarity. He reads the silence like a sentence, and he exits with peace, while she wonders why he didn't chase. 3. The scarcity illusion. She's not actually too busy to reply. She just wants you to believe she is. My friend, in the world of modern dating, perception is more powerful than reality. So when she delays her reply for hours, even days, it's not because her schedule exploded. It's because she wants you to think she must have a lot going on. She's probably talking to other guys, She's high value, she doesn't chase. This is the scarcity illusion, and it works. By delaying responses, she's engineering a false sense of worth, not by adding value to your life, but by removing presence and letting your mind do the work. And if you're not grounded, you start assigning more meaning to less effort. You think, she's rare because she's unavailable. But real rarity isn't about being hard to reach. It's about being worth the reach. Most men fall into the trap. They start rewarding the delay with compliments, more texts, and extra energy. And the moment you do that, she's got you. She now knows that scarcity works, that silence makes you chase, that all she has to do is pull away. But here's the move. Don't react to the illusion. Recognize it as emotional marketing. A high-value man doesn't beg for space he didn't ask for. He doesn't reward low investment with high pursuit. If she's too busy to reply, you're too focused to notice. Because your value is not based on how long she makes you wait. It's based on how little you need her reply to feel whole. 4. The rotation reminder. She's not replying late because she's confused. She's replying late because you're not the only one. My friend, if you're not in a relationship, you're in a rotation, and modern dating runs on options, not intention. That delay you feel? It's not always about power or testing. Sometimes it's simply logistics. She's texting other men. She's comparing attention. She's keeping you warm while someone else holds her fire. And the dangerous part? You think her slow reply means she's cautious, but in reality, you're queued up. Most men don't want to admit this. They assume exclusivity where there is none. So they wait. They adjust their tone. They overthink every emoji. But she's not thinking about you at all because the attention you give is available anytime. What's rare gets prioritized. What's always there gets delayed. Most guys think, I'll prove I'm different by staying consistent. But consistency without scarcity is just noise. So what do you do instead? You assume you're not the only one, and you act accordingly. You don't offer emotional priority without earned intimacy. A high-value man doesn't compete for placement in a lineup. He builds a world where he is the prize, not the backup plan. So if she takes hours to reply, that's not your signal to try harder. That's your reminder. You were never meant to wait in line. 5. The mirror delay. You're not waiting on her. You're waiting on yourself. My friend, you think she's the one pulling away. But what if she's just reflecting you? See, in masculine energy, we often forget how our own behaviors set the tempo. You take 3 hours to reply because you're busy. You keep your messages short. You play it cool. She feels that distance and matches it. Not out of strategy, but emotional symmetry. Most women don't initiate the gap. They mirror it back. So, when she delays her reply, it might not be a game. It might be her way of saying, I'm not feeling you feeling me. And that hits hard. Because you thought you were leading, but really, you were withholding. Most men send cold energy. Then get mad when she doesn't warm up. You ignore her vibe, then wonder why she pulls away. You act too cool, and now you're wondering why she's ice cold. What's the move? Don't text more. Don't explain yourself. Reflect on how you've shown up. Have you been consistent, clear, genuinely interested? Because women don't follow your words, they follow your energy. A masculine man doesn't perform to win validation. He anchors in truth and lets her adjust. So if she's delaying, don't chase and don't ghost. Just hold the mirror and let her see who really started the distance. 6. The hook and distance. She gives you just enough to keep you interested and then disappears again. My friend, you've felt this before. You send a message, no reply for hours. Then suddenly, she drops a fire emoji on your story, or sends a flirty "hey" out of nowhere. Your heart jumps. She's back. But then, silence. Again. This is what we call the hook and distance loop. She reels you in with microdoses of attention, just enough to trigger your hope, then backs off again to keep the power. This cycle feeds off one thing: your reaction. When you bite the hook, when you double down, overtext, or act too available, she knows the game is working. And the worst part, it keeps you emotionally addicted. Because now you're chasing the next spark, the next reply, the next dopamine hit. Most men mistake this for chemistry. She's just hot and cold. Maybe she's shy. Maybe I did something. No, my friend, she's just using silence as leverage. What do most men do wrong? They respond with energy instead of strategy. They think a flirty message is an invitation when it's actually a temperature check. What should you do instead? When she hooks, you stay still. You don't escalate. You don't dive in. You observe and mirror back grounded energy. A masculine man doesn't confuse crumbs with connection. He doesn't chase sparks. He builds fire. So when she throws the hook, you don't bite. You nod and let her wonder why you didn't jump. 7. The respect reset. When her replies slow down and you don't react, everything changes. My friend, this is where most men fail. She pulls away, and they overcompensate. They send the long text. They ask if she's okay. They start fighting for a place in her mind. But in doing that, they lose the one thing that made her interested in the first place: respect. See, women test your emotional gravity. They want to feel your energy, but they need to feel your strength. When you stay calm while she goes quiet, when you don't fold to the fear of being replaced, when you continue your life with zero anxiety in your fingertips, that's when she notices. The guy who used to wait around, he's gone. The man she thought would chase her silence, he just smiled and went silent too. Most men think, if I don't say something, I'll lose her. But here's the truth. You only keep the respect you refuse to beg for, and nothing real is lost by honoring your standards. What do you do instead? You don't send the emotional check-in. You don't play the nice guy card. You send one powerful signal, not through words, but through your absence. I don't wait for women who don't value presence. A masculine man doesn't respond to low effort with emotional labor. He doesn't teach women how to treat him. He reminds them who they're dealing with. And when that hits her, she doesn't just reply faster, she replies with respect. So the next time she takes hours to reply, don't panic, don't chase, don't scroll through your texts trying to solve a puzzle that was never yours to decode. My friend, you now know the 7 reasons why she delays her reply, and more importantly, you know who you are in the silence. Because every message she delays is a chance for you to hold your frame, not to win her over, but to prove to yourself that you don't fold for mixed signals, tests, or illusions. Most men never learn this. They chase timing, attention, and clarity from women who offer none. But you're no longer texting from anxiety. You're not waiting for permission to feel enough. You're grounded, clear, untouchable. And the moment she realizes she can't shake your power, that's the moment she either steps up or fades out. And either way, you win.